Camel, getting to yes in difficult negotiations. Finding the 18th camel, got me intrigued. Speech summary. Cate will explain how we as a community have a critical role to play in resolving conflict and achieving peace by recognizing the third side in every conflict. Speech will fulfill the competent communicator speech 4, how to say it, the objectives, select the right words and sentence structure to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly. Use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas. Eliminate jargon and unnecessary words. Use correct grammar. And the time for Cate's speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome Cate.
Getting to yes in difficult negotiations. The subject of difficult negotiations reminds me of one of my favorite stories from the Middle East. There was a wise old man who left to his 3 sons all of his camels. He left to his oldest son 1/2 of his camels. To his second son, he left 1/3 of his camels. And to the youngest son, 1/9 of his camels. When the old man passed away, he had 17 camels. And so the 3 brothers set out to divide the camels, and they quickly found that 17 doesn't divide by 2. Doesn't divide by 3 or 9. So the brothers had rarely quarreled before, but suddenly they argued, they fought, and nearly came to blows. Finally, they decided to go see a wise old woman who lived at the far end of the village, down at the end of the dirt road. The 3 brothers gathered up the 17 camels and trudged down the dirt road to the wise old woman's house. She came to the door with her weather-beaten, lined face, and they explained their problem. She looked out at the 17 camels. She looked at the 3 brothers. And she finally said, "I cannot help you, but I do have this fine camel out back, and I will give it to you." So the 3 brothers, realizing they had 18 camels, the first brother took 1/2 or 9 camels. The second brother took 6 or 1/3 of the camels. The third brother took 2 or 1/9 of the camels. 9 plus 6 plus 2 is 17. They had 1 camel left, and they gave it back to the wise old woman. So the moral of this story is how easy it is we lose perspective. Humanity is a lot like these 3 brothers. We're a lot alike. We have the same needs, the same goals, but yet, as sure as death and taxes, we're going to have clashes, controversies, and conflict. It took the wise old woman to take a step back, to look at the situation with fresh eyes, and to show the parties in conflict here in the camp. Now, when we are describing a conflict, frequently there are 2 sides: labor versus management, husband versus wife, Republicans versus Democrats, and then, of course, that controversy we've all been watching with bated breath here, Varsity Mountain Resort versus Vail Resorts. But there's always a 3rd side. The 3rd side is us, the communities, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your allies. The 3rd side helps the parties in conflict reach that place of perspective. Take PCMR versus Vail. That was a situation that could have drastically impacted our community. That resort had closed, could have changed the character of Park City. It could have affected us economically in terms of the resort business and every other related industry here, from construction to home ownership. What did we have? We had our business and community leaders approaching these parties, not to tell them what to do or how to solve their conflict, but to say, listen, for the sake of the entire economic, for the entire community and the well-being of everyone, and for the sake of our future, you have to stop fighting and start talking. We'll pay for mediation. We'll listen to you, but please listen to to our third side perspective. So each of us has opportunities to use our influence to bring about productive negotiations and agreement. Let me give you some examples. You can act as a mediator. We do this all the time. Whenever we listen to people in dispute, when we ask them what they really want, when we suggest possible approaches, and when we urge them to think hard about the costs of not reaching agreement. You have the bridge builder. The bridge builder is that person who invites two estranged family members who haven't talked in years to that celebratory dinner, or invites two business rivals out for that game of golf. You can be an equalizer. A parent can equalize the power between, say, a younger child and an older child by insisting that they reach a fair agreement for both. Likewise, the neighbors of a country torn by civil war can exercise diplomatic peer pressure on that government to meet and consider the position of the rebels. And then there's my favorite, the peacekeeper. That's something you'll see. You've had two men in a brawl, a bar, or public place, and their peers or their community will pull them apart and pull them off of each other. You see that on TV every Sunday. It's called the NFL. Let me invite each of you to look for opportunities to take up the third side. For it is us, the community, who surround the conflict that can serve as that 18th camel. In resolving seemingly petty conflicts like that faced by the three brothers, all the way up to giant worldwide struggles between nations. In closing, I leave you with these thoughts. The secret to peace is the third side. The third side is us. Each of us can take small actions to bring the world a step closer to peace. There is an old proverb that says, when spider webs unite, they can halt even the lion. If we are able to unite our third side webs of peace, we can halt even the lion of war. Mr. President.